Dolan to do it.
Dolan.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing the live predictions for UFC 255 Figueiredo versus Perez, which is this Saturday. Man, I'm excited about this card. I'm joined here with Keenan and Kai.
Hello.
How's it going?
All right, so looking at the fight card, man, this is really exciting. Let's start off with the undercard, shall we?
I think this card is low-key stacked. Anyone who says otherwise is a casual. Just gonna say that. Put that out.
I agree. Two title fights. It's pretty.
No, but for real, I do agree too. This is a stacked card. So the first card, or the first fight on the card, is Darby versus Rodriguez. So Daniel Rodriguez versus Nick Darby, actually. Wow. Welterweight bout. What do you know, Kai? What do you know, Keenan?
So I know that Darby, this is his second stint in the UFC. He first came in, fought Darren Till to a draw. Or he won one fight, fought Darren Till to a draw, and then lost a couple lopsided decisions, got cut, and then he came back. His last fight, it did not look very good for him. He got taken down pretty early and then submitted. But the guy that he was fighting, Ronson, got caught for PEDs. So it got overturned to a no contest, but it was still pretty lopsided, that fight. And then Rodriguez is on the come up. I feel like they're trying to push this Rodriguez guy. He is currently on a 3-fight win streak in the UFC. I think he's like on an 8-fight win streak total, but I'm not too sure. I can see Rodriguez winning the fight.
Well, I see Darby beat Oliveira back in 2019. That's kind of a shocker. What were you going to say, Kenan?
Also lost to Ronson, but Ronson was a lightweight too. And I believe Darby was a big favorite in that one. Again, like Ronson, like Jesse Ronson, like I remember watching that fight and I was surprised at like what was going on because Darby was so much bigger, but it didn't work out for him. You know, I don't know. I feel like he has a lot to prove in this fight against Rodriguez, who is 13-1, 3-0 in the UFC, and basically this looks like his fight to get him into the top 15. So,
I don't know if I need to take into his last fight against Ronson too seriously just because of the PEDs, and I take that into account a lot of the time. Like, that's giving you an advantage. But just the way that he fought in that fight, I just feel like Rodriguez will have an edge in this fight.
So who you gonna take, Kai?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, okay.
I take Rodriguez too.
Vegas gives him the heavy favorite at -325.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take Rodriguez as well. Just he won his last fight with a stunning KO, so 2 minutes into the round. So I expect this one to be nothing but fireworks.
I'm pretty sure this is a short notice fight for Rodriguez too. Darby's first opponent got injured. I forget who it was supposed to be, but I know that they replaced him with Rodriguez. I just don't know how far in advance it was, but I know it's a sort of short notice. I don't know if it's too short notice though.
Okay, so you're gonna keep track of this. Who's doing what, Kai? Or are you gonna do that, Kenan?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, so we're all taking Rodriguez in this. Yeah, I think I'm down with that. So put your money on Rodriguez, guys, because I definitely am. I might just go make a parlay card this weekend just for the heck of it.
Might as well. Got it all marked down.
All right, so we're moving on to the next fight. So the next fight is Antonina Shevchenko versus Ariane Lipsky. Am I saying that name right? Ariane, or is it Ariani?
I think it's Ariane Lipsky.
So it looks like in this picture, the battle of the supermodels. Just saying. They don't look like they belong in the cage.
I have Lipsky winning the fight if she can take it to the ground. Because the way that Shevchenko last fought on the ground against Jukagian, it was very one-sided. So if Lipsky gets it to the ground, I feel like it's going to be a very easy night. Shevchenko is more of a Muay Thai style fighter, so I see it going Lipsky's way. Even though that she is an underdog, I feel like people are hyping up Shevchenko a little too much because that's Valentina's older sister. So I think like correlation, if one's good, the other one has to be, but I don't think so. I think Lipsky has it and submits her.
Interesting pick. I'm picking Shevchenko in this one. I'm going with Vegas. I think Shevchenko is. I think she's learning. I think she's still green, and I think the more that she gets to train with the champion and her sister Valentina, I think the better she gets, and I think that she's only getting better. So I'm picking Shevchenko in this one because she gets to train with Valentina, they're in the same like area, and you've seen Valentina, and the success from Valentina can only really, rub off on to her sister. So I think it's going to be a win for Shevchenko.
She's also 1-2 in her last 3 fights. And she's lost 2 decisions, but she won by a submission. So I could see her getting tired in this fight. I'm going to go with Kai on this one and take Lipsky.
I just don't think that Valentina's success will help her sister's success. Her sister is older by 3 years, a little bit less experienced too. And then not everyone's built the same. Like Valentina is so good because she's so diverse in her striking, and her takedowns are a different breed. But that doesn't mean her older sister is going to move exactly like Valentina does just because they're sisters together.
Yeah,
like
think about it like the Rua brothers, Ninja and Shogun. 2 different fighters, but they're brothers, right?
Yeah. So definitely Lipsky. I feel like it's going to get done on the ground, the first or second round.
And just looking at it, she's 1-2 in her last 3 fights, and she's ranked number 15. You could tell the UFC is kind of pulling some favoritism there.
At this point, my record can only get worse, so we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. After last week, with all the changes in the fight card, hopefully nothing changes this week.
I think I got like 1 fight right.
All right, so moving on to the next fight, we've got Buckley versus Wright. I'm going to get the right names here in a second as soon as my computer decides to cooperate.
Joaquin Buckley?
Joaquin Buckley versus Jordan Wright.
Oh.
So if you look at the slides, like next to the names where I put like their last fight, it's they won the round and how they won, or if they won by decision. And then the PB stands for performance bonus. So Buckley's last fight, he had the I don't know what to call it, like 360 spin kick off 1 foot.
It deserves shade, dude.
Yeah. Definitely one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life. And Keenan and I were at the Masvidal Askren fight, and I think this Buckley one's crazier than that one because I've never seen it before. I've seen a bunch of flying knees, but I've never seen someone kick like that during a fight.
The only time that I've seen that happen has been in like Taekwondo, where people they kick it, and then I've seen it in tournaments where they'll hit one board and they'll come around super quick. They'll hit another board doing that same kick. I've never seen it done in the UFC. And for Buckley to not only land it, but knock him out, knock out Kasanganay the way that he did, that was crazy.
I think Buckley's going to win if he can keep it standing because he's a straight stand-up fighter. He doesn't have any submissions to his record, and he doesn't, looking at his fights, he doesn't really attempt them off his back or anything. So if this fight goes to the ground where Wright, I see having a huge advantage over Buckley, I can see Wright getting it done. He is undefeated, but his last fight he did lose, but not his last fight. A couple fights ago, he lost, but it got overturned because the person popped for something. I forget what it was, but I have Buckley winning by knockout again. I don't know what round, but I feel like he's going to get it done on the feet.
Okay, that's fair. I'm kind of torn on this one because they're both. I mean, Buckley he's a performance guy, you know. Like he goes out there and if he puts on he does what he does and he'll knock people out. Right? He's 11-0. All of them are also by finish. I think this has the making of being a great fight. And I feel like if Wright lands a takedown and can keep it on the ground, then I think he can win. If it's kept standing, I think Buckley has a huge advantage. And I don't know if Wright can take down Buckley, so I'm going to have to go with Buckley.
Well, it's always a good time to agree to disagree. I don't think Buckley's going to beat Wright. I just don't see it happening. I see it looks like Wright is coming down from 205 to fight at 185. So he is used to fighting the heavy punchers. 11-0, so we don't know if his chin's ever been tested, but we can find that out this fight. I am going to go with Wright and the odds. I don't know how they calculate odds in this, but I'm going to go ahead and take Wright.
I think if Buckley wins this, put him in against Uriah Hall.
Put him in against Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall just got announced for a bout against Chris Weidman again.
Yeah, they just signed that.
They just verbally agreed to it. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, I read that. I forgot about that. But I'm just saying, like, that would be a crazy stylistic matchup because they're both creative strikers, you know.
Jordan Wright's one loss, or he didn't lose, it was a no contest because it got overturned by NSAC, was a first-round KO, 40 seconds in. Well, so I feel like Buckley might be able to catch him early.
We'll see. I mean, like I said, you just never know with these boys are going to be swinging for the fences. So
yeah, his one loss is to Kevin Holland, who is fighting Jack Hermanson in a few weeks, which will be a good fight also. He did knock out Buckley, actually. I'm pretty sure.
Buckley also?
He knocked out Buckley. That's his one loss in the UFC. But I feel like the difference between Holland and Wright are huge. I can't put Wright on Kevin Holland's level, so that's why I have Buckley.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. Make sure you keep track of that. Hope you're writing it down, buddy.
Yeah, I got it down.
I hate to rub it in your face, you know. Sometimes I just have to. All right, moving on to you could say the main event of the prelims. And we've got Brandon Moreno, who's ranked number 2, against Brandon Royval, who's ranked number 4. Wow.
I love this guy, Brandon Royval, so much. I think if he wins this fight, you have to put him up next for the title. Cody Garbrandt. Or Brandon Moreno wins, he also deserves the next title shot. I think this is a title eliminator. So whoever wins this fight for sure should get the next title shot. I think Brandon Royval has it. His chin is a little iffy. He can get rocked because he kind of keeps his hands down. But he has such a slick submission game where he can transition into chokes and arm bars and stuff off his back. I think he's the future. I saw him win the LFA title and brought me on this hype train for him. So I've been promoting Brandon Royval like crazy. I think he wins it just because I'm a little biased towards him. But Brandon Moreno is a scary guy on the ground too. He can take you down and choke you out, grab a limb, make you tap. So we'll see. I have Royval by decision though.
Keenan?
I'm a believer after watching Royval's last fight against Kai Kara France. The whole time I was rooting for Kai Kara France because his name's Kai, Kai. So I was like, I had to go with Kai in the fight. And the way that Royval won, that fight was super exciting. He's a really exciting fighter. He scrambles very well on the ground, but so does Moreno. Both these guys have a lot of submissions, and Moreno is the favorite. But after seeing Royval's last fight, I'm a believer. I'm going with Royval, and I think he's going to submit him, actually.
he can take some punishment and then he's still in the fight as long as because his submission game is so slick.
He's not going to take the punishment that Moreno's
You
going
don't-
to give him. Sorry,
Ooh.
guys. Disagree. Moreno is going to whoop him. He's going to put on a clinic. Mark my words. Moreno will submit him with a rear naked choke. Okay, maybe not my words on that one, but that's what I really think is going to happen. I think it's going to go to the ground. I think they're going to slugfest it out. Royval's going to get caught. He's going to get rocked, and that's when Moreno's going to take him down and take his back and finish him off. I just see that happening.
One interesting thing is Perez, who's fighting for the championship now, was actually supposed to fight Moreno, and then they pulled Perez to fight Figueiredo, and then Royval came in like the badass that he is to fight Moreno on like a month's notice. So I seriously think Royval is going to be the champ, or he's going to fight for the championship.
Bro, I mean, like, you should really
like,
think
level.
about what you're saying right now. The guy Moreno looks just like you, dude. You should take your twin and call it a night. But no, you want to go with the other guy who's going to kick your ass.
Yeah,
I think
Royval's
Royval's going to win this one. I don't think he has a shot against. I don't think he has a chance against Davison. I don't think he'll be.
I don't know.
We shall see Saturday, guys.
I'm a little biased. He's also a Colorado boy, so.
Is that why you like him? It's just because he's man. We're moving on. We're moving on.
It makes sense now, doesn't it?
So what do we got, Kai, that are the differences right now in these fights? Before I move to the main card, what do we got?
What?
So I think there's 2 fights I disagree with you guys on, or is there 3?
So the Darby versus Rodriguez fight, we all have Rodriguez.
Okay.
Keenan has Shevchenko, and you and I have Lipsky. And then you chose Wright, and we chose Buckley. And then you just chose Moreno, and we chose Royval.
Okay. So me and Keenan are kind of way off on our picks.
I think the only one that you guys agree on is the Darby, or we all agree on the Darby Rodriguez fight. But it'll be interesting to see. I think it will be interesting if Darby can implement some leg kicks in there, because I know that Rodriguez's pressure is just something else.
Yeah, we'll see. Now, speaking of the Rua brothers, remember I brought it up earlier with Ninja and Shogun. They're going to start the night off on the main card. It's going to be Mauricio Rua versus Paul Craig. I don't know anything about Craig except for it looks like he's 5-4-1 in the octagon according to your stats.
Bear Jew, Paul Craig.
Oh,
That's his nickname.
oh, I was
Bear
like,
Jew.
huh? Bear juice.
He's excited. I mean, like he always looks like he's getting beat up until he wins the fight. That's Paul Craig. Like he's always losing, and he starts losing very badly, and then he finds a way to submit someone. And
all of his wins in the UFC are via submission.
Yeah.
But all of his losses are via decision, via decision. I'm pretty sure. But these two have fought before. They fought almost a year ago today, exactly.
To a draw, dude.
They fought to a draw. A lot of people say like it shouldn't have been a draw. I don't really know. I didn't watch the fight. So I just know that they say like Craig was winning, but where did you put the 10-8 round or whatnot in there? So I don't know. I think I saw a little bit of it, and it looked like Craig was winning the fight, but that was a year ago too. And Shogun, you can never count him out. He's on a little streak right now. He's like 5-1-1 in his last 7 fights.
Yeah.
His only losses to Anthony Smith since. So I think that Shogun might be on a little run, and if he's like starting to be like the next Glover Teixeira, he has to get a win here versus Craig. But if Craig gets it to the ground, I feel like Shogun might have a little bit of trouble there, especially since he's aging. So I think Craig is gonna win, but don't count out Shogun in the fight. He might show up and just say that he's still there, back in the Pride days.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Craig's gonna win this one too. In Shogun's last fight, I believe he was actually losing the fight until he decided to take down Nogueira. He broke the street rules. In those fights, you're not supposed to take anyone down. No, I'm kidding, but I feel like Craig's stand-up game is underrated, and he was winning the Shogun fight, and I don't know what happened. I don't know why the scorecards came out to a draw, and I think it's going to be even more for Craig this time. I think that he's taller than Shogun, so that's going to be an issue for him for Shogun, because Craig's taller, and then his striking's getting better, and then his ground game is like off the charts. So I think Craig wins this one. I think Vegas has this right, but I would not be surprised if Shogun came in there, classic Shogun style, and took out Craig in like the first round. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Well. What do you know? Again, I agree to disagree. And here's why. Craig and Shogun both fought to a draw, right? So in the eyes of the people, the judges, it was a really even fight. So I think that tells you both of them have skills, obviously. I don't know much about Craig, and that's the only reason why I'm not choosing him. I've supported Rua for quite some time, for many years. As a matter of fact, he was going to actually fight Nico at one point before he got back in UFC. So I've kind of been a supporter of him, and that's what I'm going off of. Plus, he's been looking really sharp, even at his age. So this is, again, another exciting fight. This one you might be able to rub in my face, Kai, but I'm not going to hold you to it.
Right? I'll rub it in your face after Roy Val wins too.
This is one to circle like on the cards, like potential fight of the night, because these guys, they're showstoppers. Craig came out like with one of his wins being like the latest submission win ever or something, or like whatever. Like he had it like in a non-title fight, he had the latest submission win in a non-title fight with like 1 second left, which is crazy. And then Shogun, former champion, Pride veteran, I think he was a Pride champion too, right? These guys have the makings to be a very exciting fight, and I think this is like the sleeper pick for fight of the night. I think this is going to be great.
Possibly. And I made a mistake there. I didn't mean Shogun. I meant Ninja was actually going to fight Nico at one point. This was before Shogun went back into the UFC, though. The next fight. Is it Kaitlyn Chookagian versus Cynthia Calvillo? Don't know much. I think I did watch the Kaitlyn girl fight. Didn't we watch her not too long ago, Keenan?
Yeah, she lost to Jessica Andrade
with that nasty body shot.
Yeah, Jessica Andrade. Oh my goodness.
I think the better matchup to make there would be like a Calvillo. I was hoping Calvillo would face like Andrade afterwards, because both of them came up from 115, and they're already looking like the two best people in the 125 division.
Yeah.
So it only makes sense for me at least, but they might just be trying to build up contenders. Like after this fight, Andrade gets the next title shot, and then after Andrade fights Shevchenko, then you can have Calvillo fight Shevchenko if she beats Chookagian. That might be what they're doing. I think Calvillo has this one easily. Her striking's a lot better than Chookagian. She's more of a finisher than Chookagian too. I just feel like Calvillo has this a lot, like very easily. I feel like she's going to try and mix in ground game, but I feel like Calvillo's striking is also a lot better than Chookagian's, so I have Calvillo.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be pretty close. In the stand-up, I don't know if it's gonna hit the ground as much. I think it's gonna be pretty close, but I do think I'm gonna have to agree. It feels like I'm agreeing with Kai on like the last few fights, but I do think Cynthia
Calvillo?
in this fight. Yeah, I think she's gonna win this one. Vegas has her as a -250 favorite. I think it could be even more. If you've seen her last couple of fights, she looks pretty good. Chukagian, on the other hand, her last loss to Jessica Andrade kind of leaves me like, I mean, she didn't get to show off exactly what she could do, but like Kai was saying, she's not really a finisher. Calvillo, she's a finisher, and she gets it done. And I don't think she finishes Chukagian. I think Chukagian's pretty dirt. I mean, her last fight, if you get hit in the body by Jessica Andrade, anyone's going down. I think I think it's going to be a decision. I think Calvillo takes it, though.
Womp, 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 womp.
Oh.
So, again, we can agree to not agree, but I am not going to disagree with you guys. I am going to take Calvillo. I think she has two KOs. Both of I was looking at their stats. They're both pretty low in submissions. But where Chukagian, or whatever her name is, shines is in decisions. She seems to always go to decisions. I don't see it going that far. I have a feeling that Calvillo is going to finish this fight. Rock and roll. Kai, you disappeared on me.
Hello, Kai.
Hello, Kai. Hello, Kai. I don't know if he had to run and take a poop because he was making some weird faces before he ran off.
No, I'm good.
He very well may have had to poop real quick.
What was that face before you left, bro? What was that?
What? Did I make one?
You did like this.
Oh yeah, because I heard my dog barking at the door. I was like, I thought I heard something, but then yeah.
All right.
So I was like, what is that?
This fight coming up, I gotta tell you, since his last fight, I just became a fan. Okay, so the next fight coming up is actually Mike Perry versus Tim Means, and Mike Perry, I got just a lot of respect for that guy. That guy is just a full-on scrapper. Take any fight, doesn't matter, even without a corner. Clearly, without a corner. So, go ahead, Kai. Give us your breakdown.
I respect Mike Perry a lot just because he's fighting without a corner. That's insane. But his reasoning is like, I already know how to fight. I don't need someone telling me what to do about it. So I'm like, good point. If you think you know what you're doing, then keep doing it. Tim Means has a lot of experience. I think this will be a good step up for Mike Perry if he can get a win here. Then that shows that he's good for the top 15. I liked the fight before that they had with Robbie Lawler and Mike Perry. I thought that was going to be a fight of probably fight of the year contender. If I was going to, I think that fight was going to be insane if Perry was going to fight Lawler. But respect to Means for taking it on 3 weeks' notice. I think Mike Perry has it though. I think he's going to be stronger in the clinch transactions with Means because he showed in that Gall fight that he can grapple pretty well. And Mickey Gall is a pretty good grappler. So I have Perry winning.
Kai, we've been agreeing a lot on all these fights. And here's another one that we do agree on. I think Mike Perry he's super underrated. He took his last fight basically without any corner. He had his girlfriend in his corner. And he went out there. He fought Mickey Gall, the prospect destroyer. He ends prospects, and he went out there and he dismantled Mickey Gall. He made Mickey Gall look like an amateur. And Mike Perry, I don't think Tim Means is going to try and take down Mike Perry. I think Tim Means is going to try to clinch Mike Perry, and that's where both of these guys shine. They shine in the clinch and in the stand-up department. I think this also is going to be a very exciting fight. I think that Mike Perry just has more power, and I think that's how he gets it. I think he's going to knock out Tim Means. I don't know if it's going to be, early or later, but I know that Mike Perry has a lot of power, and I think he's going to knock out Tim Means.
Very interesting analogy, and I couldn't disagree. I think that Means is tough. He's really tough. He did beat Alves, but like I told you, Mike, I just became a fan of Mike Perry's after that fight. And Means is tough as nails. I could see this fight going to a decision. Looks like they're both gonna slug it out in the first round and just slow the pace down after that. So I see a decision for Mike Perry. Just saying. You know what I mean?
We all agree on this one. All right.
Yeah, Mike Perry it is. All right. Let's see.
I was about to say, if you disagree with Mike Perry right now.
There's no way, dude. Mike Perry is he's been on a roll. Even
Darren Till's in his corner, he would win the fight. Guaranteed. His
Mike,
odds would go to.
If you watch this video, I'll corner you, dude. I've cornered many fighters. And guess what? They've all won.
Yes,
Not
sir.
all, but every fight that I cornered, they did.
Mike Perry, dude, you'll be in the top 15 with that Robbie Lawler fight next time, dude. If you're watching, dude, hey, we all got you on that one.
All right, so we're moving on to the next fight. Valentina Shevchenko versus Jennifer Maia. Co-main event. Flyweight championship belt is on the line. I'm going to take Maia. No, I'm just kidding. Kai, what's your breakdown?
I was going to say something, but I don't want that to come bite me in the butt later. So I'm just going to have Shevchenko win.
I'm just going to have her win. I have nothing else to say.
I'm very conflicted on my I am very conflicted.
I'll say it for you, dude. Kai really thinks that the UFC is overrating Maia for some reason. And she probably does not deserve to be where she's at with a 3-2 record. That's what Kai is going to say. He does not want to say it because he's a little chicken shit tonight. So I'll say it for you, Kai. How about that?
Yep.
Is that what you wanted to say?
Yeah. Basically.
All right, he's not a chicken shit. He's just being reserved.
Last fight.
She is 3-2 in the UFC, so that kind of is it's kind of tricky to put someone in for a title shot. But Joanne Calderwood, the girl that she fought last time, was supposed to fight for the title a couple of times, and it was amazing, dude. The win, the way that she beat Joanne Calderwood, you can't say that she isn't one of the top contenders in the division. And I am picking Maia in this fight. Call me crazy. Shevchenko's a minus 1,500 favorite, but I'm telling you, after seeing the Maia fight, I'm a believer. I think Maia gets this one done. Valentina likes to take down people. Maia's great on the ground. This has the making of an upset, and I am taking Jennifer Maia. Don't be surprised.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. This madman is picking Maia.
Don't call it an upset.
So think about it like this, though. Real talk, Keenan. Shevchenko's the champ. Okay. Maia's 3-2. Okay.
I wonder you have bad picks.
In order for her to win this fight, she's basically going to have to finish Shevchenko. There's no way she's going to win a decision. She would really have to beat up the champion in order to win that. So that means that kind of just puts a lot of pressure on Maia to finish the fight. There's a negative 1,500 favorite. 1,500. You be smart. You go put $2 on Maia to win. And if she does, dude, you're walking away pretty good.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I might as well just put $5 down.
Basically, these odds tell you there is no way, unless Shevchenko, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to put any bad juju on anybody, but
that's what I'm
if
saying.
something really weird happens in that fight, there's no way that Maia's going to win according to Vegas. But
even
with that
if
being
Maia,
said, I'm just kidding.
even
Kaikai's like,
if Maia wins this fight, there's going to be an immediate rematch.
Well, like you think about it, like there's been giant upsets before. TJ Dillashaw beating Henan Barrow. No one gave TJ a shot in that fight, and you see how he's been now.
I mean, Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson. I mean, I know what you're talking about. There are so many differentiating factors that could play, but
Matt Serra, GSP.
You see, this is what I'm trying to think of. Like with that Ronda Rousey situation, like with Holly Holm, you're like, Holly Holm was such a huge underdog. But I'm like, if you're like a true MMA fan, like there's probably a lot of people that knew that Holly Holm's striking was going to be better than Ronda Rousey's. Like people were like, Ronda Rousey's striking is more overrated than like the most overrated thing ever. And if you get a good striker in with her, then it's not going to work out very well. And that's what happened. But I don't see any holes that Shevchenko has that Maia can expose is the thing. Like Shevchenko's stand-up is world-class. Her ground game is world-class. She fought 8 rounds with Nunes, and some argue that she won against Nunes. And then she dismantled Joanna too. So there's so many things that Maia needs to, like, not Maia, just the whole women's featherweight. They just need to improve that much more because of how dominant Shevchenko is. And I don't think anyone in the top 5 right now has a chance to compete with Shevchenko.
So I think I'm gonna go with Kai on this one. I'm taking the champ by a pretty large margin. I think it's gonna be another.
I have it 3rd round TKO, or not TKO, 3rd round head kick knockout, Jessica I style.
I don't like it.
That's my prediction.
I have a feeling that this might be a submission by Shevchenko, and I do apologize. I had to yell at my other kids for making noise in here again because they have no respect for me recording with my favorite nephew. Actually, I have quite a few favorite nephews, but you're just one of them. All right.
I have Maia winning this one. 2nd round submission. You heard it here first. Look,
Hey, Kai. Look at the camera, Kai.
Call me crazy. I think that Maia wins this one, dude. I'm probably gonna regret this choice.
You wonder why you have a bad record in predictions.
Hey man,
I think you're doing a little good today with them.
So but Keaton, he does what he wants to do. That's his problem. He does not listen to the right people. That is his MO, and that's what he's going to stick with.
Who picked Bisping to beat Rockhold? Who picked Matt Serra to beat GSP?
It wasn't you
when he first fought Matt.
Do you remember the people that picked him?
No, I don't.
Exactly.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the main event of the evening. This one is gonna be fireworks. How do you say his first name?
Davison Figueiredo.
Davison? Okay. I know it's Figueiredo. That's not an issue. I just never knew his first name. And Alexander, no, I'm just kidding, Perez. Alexander Perez, are you up? All right. This one, like I said, is going to be fireworks. And I was just watching some highlights on both of these guys today. Perez, he's actually a little cocky. He doesn't look like it in his picture here. He actually looks really innocent. But he's actually really cocky. I didn't know that until I watched some of the clips on him. Go ahead, Kai. Give me a breakdown. I want to hear what you got to say.
I like Perez. I think Davison Figueiredo has crazy forward pressure, like insane forward pressure for the flyweights, and he packs a punch. Like I saw this stat the other day. Davison Figueiredo is like 247th all time in significant strikes landed, but he's top like 40 in knockdowns ever. So he's landed less strikes than 250 people, but only 40 some people have more knockdowns than him ever. So he packs a punch more than, I think he's one of the hardest hitters no matter what weight class you put him in, especially for a flyweight. That just makes it even crazier because they're not known for having knockout power. It's more like slick submissions and stuff. Perez, though, looks super good against Jussier Formiga and leg kicked that man to death.
And Formiga beat Figueiredo.
And yeah, Formiga did beat Figueiredo. I feel like Figueiredo is going to figure out like check leg kicks, check leg kicks, check leg kicks. Like that's going to be his main thought is like, I need to check all these leg kicks and then worry about the takedown. And then if he gets those things down, I feel like the striking opens up so much for Figueiredo. And Figueiredo has like a slick submission game. I think it's like the same thing with the women's flyweight division a little bit. Like I feel like there's a different level between where the champ is right now and the rest of the competition. And I feel like Figueiredo, he might get it done Joseph Benavidez style. He's more heavily favored than that Joseph Benavidez fight this time, which I find crazy, but who knows? I think Figueiredo wins the fight early, like second round TKO or submission.
All right. So in this fight, you have the champion Figueiredo, 19-1 or 19-1. Perez 24-5. Perez is what? Is that 6-1 in the UFC?
Mm-hmm.
He's been on a tear as well. You know, he knocked out Figueiredo, and Figueiredo handily beat. He beat Formiga. Formiga handily beat Figueiredo. However, Figueiredo wasn't who he is now. You know, back then, and I don't know. It's a tough one to like say on paper, but judging by Figueiredo's last fight, I don't think anyone in this division beats him anytime soon. I think he gets this one done early too. And I think that this fight is odds are a lot closer than I feel like they should be. I feel like minus 310 is giving a lot of respect to Perez, and Perez has been on a tear. But I feel like, Figueiredo could have just as easily been like a minus 500, minus 600 just because of the short notice amount of the fight,
Mm-hmm. Alex Perez's only loss in the UFC happens to be against Joseph Benavidez.
So it might be our internet. Either way, I'm taking Figueiredo if we end this session. JIC.
Okay, we're back.
So all of us have Figueiredo.
Yeah, I'm taking Figueiredo just in case. I know we kind of lagged out there for a second. But Figueiredo for sure. That I just don't think Perez is in that level yet. He might get there soon, but that's where I stand. Kai, you still there, buddy?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm surprised. This guy Keenan is like, I'm surprised Figueiredo isn't like a 600 favorite, and he picked Figueiredo, but Shevchenko's a negative 1,500 favorite, and he's like, Maia. I'm taking Maia.
Yeah, no. Again, you know what? I might just go put a couple dollars on Maia too, just for the heck of it.
I did that with Felicia Spencer and Nunes because Felicia Spencer was a plus 700 underdog.
See, but I would have never picked Felicia Spencer.
I think Felicia Spencer has a better chance of beating Nunes than Maia has a chance of beating Shevchenko.
But Shevchenko is beatable, like she's beatable. Amanda Nunes beat her,
Amanda Nunes beat her at a weight class higher than what they're at right now.
Any
and
fighter
some
is
argue
beatable.
that she won that fight, and the other time that she lost was against Liz Carmouche, and then Liz Carmouche and Shevchenko